Do you sometimes feel like your listener just isn't understanding you well, even though you're pretty sure you're pronouncing all of your sounds correctly? Then stay tuned and I'll tell you how to fix that. Hi, I'm Lori from Pronunciation Pro. In each of my videos, I provide just a snippet of information about American English pronunciation. A snippet is a small amount of something. So the purpose of these videos is to give you one small thing in each one that you can address to help you with your American English accent. This is the third in my series of videos on intonation. Today I want to talk about conveying meaning through intonation. And this is very closely related to sentence stress, which is choosing which words to emphasize in your sentence. Intonation and sentence stress kind of go hand in hand because one of the main ways we emphasize words in our sentences is by raising our pitch. Pronouncing all of your sounds correctly is only half of the equation when it comes to speaking English. It's the technical aspect of the language, and most of us are pretty good at learning technical things. But the other half of the equation is the musical aspect of the language, which is where intonation really comes into the picture. Intonation is how we convey the meaning and emotion in our sentences. Here's what I mean. I'm going to say a sentence 2 times. The first time, all of my sounds will be correct, but there will be very little intonation or pitch change. The second time, I'm going to use proper intonation. Okay, here we go. First one. I can't believe you just said that to your new boss on his 3rd day. Now, the second one. I can't believe you just said that to your new boss on his 3rd day. Which one gets the point across better? Of course, it's the second one. Now, what happens to some students is that they hear the ups and downs in the language and they try to boil it down to a simple formula they can use in all circumstances, like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. This results in what we call a sing-song type of speech, because it's the type of speaking we do in nursery rhymes with children. For example, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. This is fine for nursery rhymes, but it doesn't land well in normal speech because it doesn't selectively target the words that carry the meaning. This type of intonation would sound like this. I can't believe you just said that to your new boss on his 3rd day. You're getting some ups and downs for sure, but you're not placing them specifically in the words that convey the meaning. You're just following a set pattern. Let's go back to that sentence, and now we have the words that convey the meaning of the sentence bolded. These are the words that we're going to emphasize by raising our pitch. I can't believe you just said that to your new boss on his 3rd day. Now, this process of selecting which words to emphasize comes very naturally to a native speaker, but maybe not so naturally to someone who's just learning how spoken English should sound. So I want to go over how to choose the words that you're going to emphasize by raising your pitch. Here are the basic rules. Number 1, we typically emphasize nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs in our sentences. We call these content words because they carry most of the meaning. Number 2, we usually raise our pitch on negation words like no, never, not, none, and words that contain those words like nobody, can't, don't, doesn't, wouldn't, and won't. That's not an exhaustive list of all the possible words conveying negation, but I think you get the idea. Number 3, native speakers typically emphasize numbers and words that express numerical order, like first, second, third, last, and so forth in their speech. So, in looking at that same sentence we used previously, you can see each of these 3 guidelines being used here. I can't believe you just said that to your new boss on his 3rd day. I stressed can't because it's a negation word. Believe and said are the main verbs. New is the adjective that describes boss, which is a noun. Third is a numerical order word, and day is another noun. Now that we've discussed the words that we do stress in our sentences, we also need to talk about words that we typically don't stress by raising our intonation. These would include the following: pronouns, prepositions, articles, helping verbs, and to-be verbs. We call these function words because they're necessary to keep the correct grammatical structure of the sentence, but most of the time they are not the words that carry the meaning of the sentence. Now, an important concept about intonation is that it will always be dependent on the message you're trying to convey. There are times when you'll stress words that are normally just function words because of their purpose in the sentence. For example, when clarifying something, it's his turn to read, not hers. Here, we're emphasizing the pronouns because that's what we're clarifying, whose turn it is. Or if someone asked me, "Are you sure it's his turn?" I might say, "Yes, it is his turn to read." Here I'm stressing the to-be verb is because that's the most important word in my message right now. And we also stress words that convey a contrast. For example, you can sit at this table or at that table. This and that are normally just function words, but here it makes sense to emphasize them. If you learn how to correctly use intonation, you can successfully communicate most of the time, even if you still make mistakes on certain sounds. This is because your listener will often understand the meaning of what you're saying based on your intonation alone. For example, if I ask you what time it is and you say, dunno, I'm going to understand that you just said, I don't know, because of the intonation you used, even though you didn't articulate your words well. This is because we always use that same intonation with this phrase when it's in answer to a question. I don't know. Now, intonation is best learned by listening and imitation practice, so make sure you're spending time each day in shadowing or imitating a native speaker. Find one you like on YouTube, TED Talks, or any other form of media, and after the speaker says a phrase, you hit the pause button and try to say it exactly like they did. Don't change it. Think about the meaning the speaker is trying to convey with his or her words and which words the speaker is emphasizing or raising their pitch on in order to convey that meaning. Learning intonation is not a fast process, but you can learn to use it effectively with practice. If you found this information helpful, please like my video and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like more personalized help with intonation or with any other aspect of American English pronunciation, click on the link in the comments section below for more information on options for working with me. I'd love to help you reach your goals for your spoken English. In the meantime, happy practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.